Hello and welcome back to the Dublo Railway. We had a running day here recently, and there's nothing like a running day to pinpoint problems. Now, in a layout of this size, with equipment that is this old, and I'm mostly using genuine equipment, I think the only non-original articles are things like transformers, controllers, that sort of thing. Most of the switching is original. You can see the points here and the signals. Anyway, what we discovered is that we had a problem at this point here. Now I'm going to show you what was happening just by running these little United glass wagons over these points. But this was happening with both, what did I have running up here? 4 MTs, 8 Fs, and N2s. And just watch as it goes over that point. There's a jump. I don't know if you can see that. There we are. That's it. What was happening is these things were derailing. So, upon inspection, what do we find? Well, we found that this, and I'll just move it back with my fingernail if I can. You can see just there that little guide rail has been pushed back in. So that's an easy fix. Anyway, it's one of the things. We also found that, excuse the car going past, we also found that there were some problems again on the upper line here leading into the station, which is in the center of the layout. And I'll just pan over to that briefly. So that's where we're heading next. And in the next shot, you'll see me talking about that and the solution that we've hit upon. I'm going to have to speak up because the camera's quite away from me, and I apologize if it sounds like I'm yelling. What we're looking at is we're looking at the exit from one of the improbable bridges that are up the far end of the layout, and you'll see that the track comes off there into a set of points, and the main line is the line closest to us. You'll see some screws in the left part of the picture. They've been taken out of the tracks, and what was happening was trains were stopping on this set of points. Now you can see that there's a power rail right beside the set of points, so we weren't too certain if it was a connectivity problem or something else. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see that there is a ridge. That the bridge actually sits on a support, and the set of points comes off that. And the situation was that this rail here was screwed down there, and this half rail here, the half curve, was also screwed down. So there was a drop of about 3 millimeters over this distance. Now it turns out that was the problem. Trains were losing connectivity, probably the ones with pickups like the 4 MTs and the N2s rather than the 8 Fs, although the 8 Fs did stop on this. And so what I've decided to do is I've decided to make a little support for under the points to run down through these curves and just slowly disappear. So it's going to be a gradient of about I suppose 3 mils in 450 mils, is it? Yeah. So it's a very, very gentle gradient, but the whole thing is going to be supported completely. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that now. Welcome to one end of my workbench. Now you can see a facsimile of the track geometry there. Set of points, full-sized curve, half curve, and the gap to mimic the quarter straight. Over here, my trusty belt sander. Here is the shape that I have cut out to support this section of track, and the pencil lines indicate where the track actually sits, so it's going to come out a little bit over the edge. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this belt sander and start sanding about here and just wear it down to a fine point here and here, and hopefully that is going to do the job. And later on in this video you're going to get to see the result. So fingers crossed it all works. The header for this video shows this point, and the reason for that is we discovered again on the running day that this point was not working. One or other of these wires is loose, and that'll be taken care of in the general cleanup as a result of that. But that explains why this is shown in the header. And this, if I pull back, that's the point that leads up to the station in the center of the layout at the top, but you'll notice that the station is missing. We'll get to that in a minute. Coming from the other side of the layout, you can see the shaped board that I've put in to give us a little bit of an embankment up to the bridge, and you can see there how thin it is. That hasn't been sort of glued into position or painted or anything. Those are all the screws that came out. Now in the center of the layout, because I was doing this, I took the opportunity to remove the stations and footbridges and things and give it a good dust. You can see the outline of things there. That's just oxidation of the paint after 5 or 6 years. And the lugs that you can see at the top of the picture, there are 3 of them. Just in the top left is the 3rd one. They allow me to position the station on the far side here. So now the next thing that you're going to see is, I think I'll put a castle running around the top of this this layout, so you can see it come through here and go smoothly across the bridge. So here it comes into picture. Now this is what we wanted, a nice smooth run down here, up and onto the bridge. And you can see that did so without any hesitation. It's coming around here now, and I'll just run down the bottom of the picture. Show that again, and the next thing to do is to paint this, screw it down. Excuse the noise, that's just the castle coming through on the large bridge on the eastern side of the layout, and get all the stations back in place, and you'll see that next. So everything is back in place. You can see the tools are still out. The stations are back in position, sort of. All of that's been cleaned, and I'm running a test train through here. So you can see how that runs. There we are. Now I suppose I need to explain why some of the pieces are not back in place. I'm making decisions about what I do with some of these sidings. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, this section of track seems to be functioning well. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.